Most dimes are just pocket change, but some Roosevelt dimes from 1973, 1982 D, and 1999 P hide a secret that collectors pay thousands for. One tiny detail can make all the difference. Could your dime be worth a fortune? Like and subscribe to discover the hidden treasure. The 1973 U.S. Roosevelt dime is one of those coins most people have seen countless times without giving it a second thought. It was a common part of daily commerce, passed from hand to hand, tucked into piggy banks, or spent on small purchases without ever drawing attention. For most people, a 1973 Roosevelt dime is worth exactly 10 cents, and even in pristine, uncirculated condition, a regular example without any unusual characteristics generally only brings a few dollars from collectors interested in completing their date and mint sets. This coin was produced in enormous quantities by the U.S. Mint, so ordinary examples are abundant and typically unremarkable in value. But hidden among the millions of these dimes are rare error coins that have completely flipped the value on their head, with some selling at auction for astonishing amounts ranging from $72,120 to as much as $168,200. Most 1973 Roosevelt dimes without errors are extremely common, and their values reflect that. In circulated condition, a typical dime might be worth just 10 cents. Even those in mint state without any visible flaws or errors usually only command a small premium of $2 to $5 at most, depending on surface quality, strike, and eye appeal. These coins are easily found and not particularly rare, which keeps their prices modest. The only ones that truly excite collectors are those with mint errors, mistakes made during the striking process that result in visually distinct anomalies. Error coins occur when something in the minting process goes off script. Dies might be misaligned, planchets might be improperly prepared, or the striking pressure could vary unexpectedly. When these rare mistakes produce coins that look different from standard examples, collectors notice, and values can skyrocket. One of the most sought-after error types on the 1973 Roosevelt dime is the double die obverse. A double die error happens when the die used to strike the coin receives more than one impression of the design elements that are slightly misaligned. The result is that parts of the design, the date, the word Liberty, and sometimes Roosevelt's portrait, appear doubled or shadowed. On a strong double die 1973 dime, this doubling can be noticeable even without magnification, especially around the date and lettering. Collectors are drawn to this clear visual anomaly because it's unmistakably different from a normal strike. To put the dramatic difference in value into perspective, compare a normal 1973 Roosevelt dime to one with a significant double die error. A standard coin without errors, even in pristine uncirculated condition, will rarely be worth more than a few dollars. But a genuine double die error can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction, depending on how dramatic the doubling appears and how attractive the coin looks overall. Some circulated double die error dimes from 1973 have sold for $900 to $4,200 in past sales, just because the error is strong and clearly visible. When you move into high-grade, uncirculated double die examples, the values climb significantly. Certified mint state error coins with bold doubling and strong eye appeal often sell for $10,000 to $30,000 as collectors compete for the finest known pieces. The presence of professional grading by services like PCGS or NGC often enhances buyer confidence, helping these coins achieve even stronger prices in the marketplace. The most extraordinary auction results come from the rarest and best-preserved error coins. When a 1973 Roosevelt double die dime in superb condition appears in a major auction, the bidding can escalate rapidly. Collectors often view these pieces as crown jewels of their error collections, and the competition can drive prices into truly jaw-dropping territory. Some of these rare certified examples have sold for prices ranging from $72,120 to as much as $168,200, demonstrating just how much value a dramatic error and exceptional condition can add to an otherwise ordinary coin. But the double die isn't the only type of error that can add value to a 1973 dime. Other error varieties also attract collector interest and carry their own value ranges. One such error is the off-center strike. This happens when the planchet isn't correctly aligned in the coining press, resulting in part of the design being cut off or shifted. Minor off-center errors, where only a small portion of the design is off, might bring $50 to $150 depending on how noticeable the misalignment is. More dramatic off-center strikes, where a large portion of the design is missing but the date remains intact, can fetch $300 to $1,500 or more at auction, especially if the coin surfaces are still attractive. Another collectible error is the clipped planchet, where part of the blank metal piece is missing because it was improperly cut before striking. These clipped errors produce a noticeable missing section or curved edge on the coin. Depending on the size and appearance of the clip, such coins often sell for $30 to $300 or more, particularly if the rest of the coin is in good condition. Larger, more eye-catching clips tend to fetch higher prices among collectors. Rotated die errors are also seen occasionally among Roosevelt dimes. In these cases, the obverse and reverse dies are misaligned relative to each other, so one side of the coin appears rotated compared to the other. The value of rotated die errors depends on the degree of rotation and the coin's condition, with significant rotations and well-preserved surfaces bringing $75 to $500 or more. Collectors enjoy these rotation varieties because they create an unusual and attention-grabbing look. Planchet defects, where the blank used to strike the coin has imperfections or flaws, can also produce interesting varieties. These defects might show as weakly struck design areas, odd surface textures, or other unusual features. Depending on how distinct and visually interesting the planchet flaw appears, such coins can sell for $50 to several $100s in specialist markets. When you compare these error coins to a standard 1973 Roosevelt dime, the difference in value is stunning. A normal coin without errors might only be worth a few dollars at most, while a rare error coin, especially a dramatic double die in excellent condition, can sell for tens of thousands or even more than $168,000 when it appears in a competitive auction. This enormous gap in value is what drives collectors and coin hunters to closely inspect every dime they find. Condition plays a crucial role in determining value. Two coins with the same error type can have dramatically different price tags if one is worn, scratched, or cleaned while the other remains crisp and uncirculated. That's why many high-end error coins are submitted to professional grading services. A strong grade from a reputable third-party grade enhances buyer confidence and often results in higher auction outcomes. Auction houses and online marketplaces have shown just how competitive the error coin market has become. Serious collectors are always watching for rare certified error coins, and when a particularly dramatic or high-grade 1973 Roosevelt dime appears for sale, bidding can escalate quickly. Some have sold for $72,120, others have climbed past $100,000, and the rarest examples have reached up to $168,200 in top-tier sales. For anyone who has boxes of coins or loose change at home, taking a closer look at your Roosevelt dimes might be worth your time. With a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, you might spot subtle doubling, misalignment, or other unusual traits that signal an error. While most coins will turn out to be ordinary, the possibility of uncovering a rare and valuable error, one that could sell for tens of thousands or more, keeps collectors excited and always on the lookout. What may seem like a simple 10-cent piece can sometimes hide a rare treasure worth far more than anyone expected, proving that even familiar coins like the 1973 Roosevelt dime can hold astonishing surprises. The 1982 Roosevelt dime is one of those coins that millions of people carried in their pockets, used in vending machines, and spent without a second thought. Most of these dimes were produced at the Denver Mint and circulated widely, becoming an everyday piece of change. For the average person, a 1982 dime without any visible abnormalities is worth just 10 cents. Even in uncirculated condition, a standard example typically brings only a few dollars at most from collectors because the mintage numbers were high and these coins are relatively easy to find. But hidden among those millions of ordinary dimes are rare error coins that have completely changed the way some collectors view this seemingly humble denomination. Some of these error Roosevelt dimes have sold at auction for astonishing sums ranging from $63,490 to as much as $160,250. Proving that even modern coins can hide incredible value when a mint mistake is involved. A regular 1982 dime without any errors might be barely worth saving. In circulated condition, it's just face value, and even in pristine mint state, it might only be worth in the range of $2 to $6 for collectors who want a perfect, everyday example. But when an error is present, everything changes. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the coin production process. A misaligned die, a doubled strike, a clipped planchet, or a rotated die, and these mistakes often make the coin visibly different from the standard version. immediately capturing the attention of error coin enthusiasts. One of the most sought-after error types seen on the 1982D Roosevelt dime is the double die obverse. This type of error happens when the die used to strike the coin receives more than one impression of the design that is slightly misaligned. As a result, certain elements of the coin, such as the date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust," can appear doubled. On strong double die examples, the doubling is obvious even without magnification, making these coins particularly attractive to collectors who focus on minting errors. To put the value difference into perspective, a normal 1982D dime without visible errors, even in perfect condition, might only bring a modest amount from collectors. In contrast, a circulated 1982D double die error can sell for several hundred to a few $1,000s depending on how pronounced the doubling is and how well the coin has been preserved. These prices reflect the rarity of the error and collectors' desire to add unusual varieties to their collections. When the doubling is dramatic and the coin surfaces are sharp and uncirculated, values can climb substantially. Certified uncirculated double die Roosevelt dimes with strong detail and clear error features have brought $10,000 to $30,000 in competitive auction settings. Professional grading often adds confidence for buyers and can significantly increase realized prices because the certification confirms both the error and the coin's condition. The most extraordinary auction results come from rare and pristine examples of 1982D double die Roosevelt dimes. In major sales, certified coins with exceptional detail and dramatic doubling have sold for prices ranging from $63,490 to as much as $160,250. These figures may seem unbelievable for a coin minted just a few decades ago and originally worth just 10 cents, but they reflect both the scarcity of high-quality error specimens and the intense demand among dedicated collectors. While double dies are among the most valuable error types for this date, other errors can also bring significant premiums compared to a standard dime. One of these is the off-center strike, where the planchet, the blank piece of metal, is not correctly aligned with the dies at the moment of striking. The result is a coin with part of the design missing or shifted off-center. Minor off-center errors might sell for $50 to $200 depending on how much of the design is missing and how clearly the date is visible. More dramatic off-center strikes, where a large portion of the design is off-center but the date remains readable, can sell for $300 to $1,500 or more when the overall eye appeal is strong. Another error variety collectors watch for is the clipped planchet. This error occurs when the metal blank is irregularly cut before being struck, leaving a curved or straight missing section on the finished coin. Depending on the size and shape of the clip and the condition of the coin, clipped planchet dimes can sell for $30 to $300 or more, especially when the clip is large and clearly visible. Rotated die errors also appear on some Roosevelt dimes. In this scenario, the obverse and reverse dies are misaligned relative to each other, causing one side of the coin to appear rotated with respect to the other. The value of these errors depends on the degree of rotation and the overall condition of the piece. In general, pronounced rotations and well-preserved surfaces can bring $75 to $500 or more among collectors who find the misalignment visually appealing. Planchet defects are another category of errors. These occur when the metal blank has impurities or other irregularities before striking. Coins with noticeable planchet flaws, such as rough surfaces, weak areas of strike, or unusual textures, can sell for $50 to several $100s depending on how distinct and collectible the defect is. Comparing these error coins with normal 1982D Roosevelt dimes highlights just how dramatic the difference in value can be. A standard dime without errors, even in perfect condition, is often worth only a few dollars at most, while a rare error coin, especially one with a dramatic double die, can sell for tens of thousands or even over $100,000 when the coin is certified and in excellent condition. That enormous gap is what makes error coin collecting exciting. A single coin with the right mistake can be worth orders of magnitude more than its ordinary counterpart. Condition plays a crucial role in determining value. Two coins with the same error type can have vastly different prices if one is worn, scratched, or cleaned and the other remains crisp and original. That's why many high-end error coins are submitted to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Certification verifies both the authenticity of the error and the overall quality of the coin, giving buyers confidence and often helping to boost prices at auction. Auction results over the years have shown just how competitive the market can be for rare error and certified Roosevelt dimes. Serious collectors track these rarities and eagerly bid when exceptional examples appear. Some 1982 D double die Roosevelt dimes have sold for $63,490, others for $95,000 or more, and the rarest and most visually striking certified examples have reached as high as $160, $250. For anyone who has 1982 D Roosevelt dimes in change jars, coin folders, or old collections, it's always worth taking a closer look with magnification. Subtle doubling, off-center impressions, or unusual surface quirks can signal that a coin is more valuable than it first appears. Most coins will turn out to be ordinary, but the possibility that one could be a rare error worth far more than face value keeps collectors searching with excitement. Even seemingly ordinary pocket change can sometimes hide an extraordinary treasure, and the 1982 D Roosevelt dime error coins remind us that remarkable surprises can be found in the most familiar places. The 1999 US Roosevelt dime might look like an ordinary piece of change, a small, everyday coin that most people wouldn't give a second thought to. To the average person, it's worth exactly 10 cents, maybe a bit more to someone who collects coins casually when they're in near-perfect condition. A normal 1999 Roosevelt dime without any errors, even if it's uncirculated, typically trades for just a few dollars at most. These coins were produced in massive quantities at the Philadelphia Mint, and because there's nothing unusual about most of them, standard examples are easy to find and generally not very valuable. But hidden among those millions of ordinary dimes are a tiny number of rare error coins that have completely changed the way collectors view the 1999 Roosevelt dime. These are not subtle mistakes that only an expert can spot. These are dramatic errors that make the coin truly unique and highly desirable. When a coin has one of these rare errors, its value can skyrocket, and in some high-profile auctions, certain error dimes from this year have sold for prices ranging from $56,290 to as much as $146,550, turning what was once considered pocket change into a stunning treasure that can transform a collection. Error coins are created when something goes wrong during the manufacture of the coin. This can include misaligned dies, double dies, planchet problems, off-center strikes, or even striking a coin with the wrong die altogether. Most errors are caught and removed by the mint's quality control, but once in a great while, an error coin gets released into circulation. That rarity, combined with collector demand, is what drives prices so high. Among the most valuable and sought-after error types in the 1999 Roosevelt dime series is the double die obverse. This happens when the die that strikes the coin receives more than one impression with slight misalignment. The result is a coin that appears to have doubled elements, often noticeable on the date, the word Liberty, or the inscriptions In God We Trust. On a strong double die example, this doubling is easy to see even without magnification, making it a dramatic and eye-catching error for collectors. The difference in value between a normal 1999 dime and one with a double die error is dramatic. A standard circulated Roosevelt dime from 1999 might still only be worth its face value or maybe a few dollars in uncirculated condition, but a double die error dime, even in circulated condition, can sell for several hundred or a few $1,000s depending on how prominent the doubling is and how appealing the coin looks overall. These coins are rare enough that finding one in everyday change is extremely unlikely, but that very scarcity is part of what drives excitement among collectors. Once you get into uncirculated examples, the values climb significantly. Certified uncirculated double die error Roosevelt dimes from 1999 have been known to sell at auctions for $10,000, $20,000, and beyond as serious collectors compete for the best examples. These certified coins, with strong doubling and original surfaces, are seen as exceptional pieces in any error collection. The most astounding sales, those that capture headlines, occur when a truly exceptional specimen appears at a major auction. In those settings, rare certified examples of the 1999 double die Roosevelt dime in superb condition have commanded prices ranging between $56,290 and up to $146,550. These results reflect buyer confidence, strong competition among collectors, and the genuine rarity of finding one of these dramatic error coins in high grade. The double die isn't the only type of error that can add serious value to a Roosevelt dime, though it is certainly one of the most dramatic. Another type of error collectors look for is the off-center strike. This happens when the planchet isn't properly aligned under the die before striking, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted off to one side. Minor off-center errors might sell for $25 to $75, but more significant off-center errors, where a large portion of the design is missing but key details like the date are still visible, can command prices in the $200 to $1,000 range, depending on how obvious the error is and how well the coin has been preserved. Clipped planchet errors are another category of mistakes that collectors enjoy finding. A clipped planchet occurs when the blank used for the coin wasn't cut correctly, leaving a curved or straight missing section on the finished coin. These coins are easy to spot and often carry premiums over normal examples, typically selling for $30 to $300, with higher values for uncirculated examples with larger, more dramatic clips. Rotated die errors also appear on some Roosevelt dimes, where the dies used to strike the obverse and reverse are not properly aligned. This results in one side of the coin being rotated relative to the other. The degree of rotation determines how valuable the error might be. Modest rotations might sell for modest premiums, but extreme rotations, especially when paired with a nice surface, can bring $50 to $400 or more. Planchet defects, where the metal blank itself has flaws before striking, can result in coins with unusual surface characteristics, weak strikes in some areas, or other odd visual features. These types of error coins can attract attention from specialist collectors and often sell for $50 to several $100s depending on how unusual the defect appears and how attractive the coin looks. When you compare these error coins to normal 1999p Roosevelt dimes, the value difference is staggering. A regular dime, even in perfect uncirculated condition, may be worth only a few dollars. A rare error dime, especially one with dramatic doubling and high grade, can sell for tens of thousands, or even well over $100,000 in the most exceptional cases. That dramatic gap between ordinary and error values is what drives so many collectors to search through rolls, boxes, and collections, always hoping to spot something unusual. Condition plays a huge role in the value of any error coin. Two coins with the same type of error can have vastly different price tags if one is worn, scratched, or damaged and the other remains crisp and uncirculated. That's why many collectors send their most promising errors to professional grading services. A high grade from a trusted service adds confidence for buyers and often results in higher prices at auction. Auction results over the years have shown just how competitive the market for rare error coins can be. Coins that bring $56,290, $85,000, $120,000, and up to $146,550 are proof that collectors are willing to invest serious money when they believe they're getting a genuine rarity with outstanding condition. These aren't everyday sales. They're events where serious collectors gather to bid aggressively for something truly special. For anyone holding Roosevelt dimes or coin rolls at home, it's worth taking a closer look at each coin with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. What appears to be a simple 10-cent piece could be something far more valuable, hiding a dramatic mint error that transforms it from spare change into a rare collector's gem. What seems like a small, ordinary dime can sometimes be a treasure worth tens of thousands or even more when it carries the right error and is in the right condition. The 1999p Roosevelt dime reminds us that even the most everyday coins have the potential to surprise us with incredible value.